I am Jim Collison, and this is the Clifton Strengths Podcast, Season 3, recorded on February 23rd, 2024. In this Clifton Strengths podcast series, we'll look at how to feel more energized and motivated at work, one theme at a time, and today's theme is Maximizer. If you're listening live, love to have you join us in chat. If you're listening after the fact, maybe on YouTube or in the podcast, and you have questions, you can just email us, coaching@gallup.com. Dr. Jaclynn Robinson is our host today. She works as a senior learning and development consultant and joined me for Season 1 and 2 of the Clifton Strengths podcast, where we looked at the well-being at work, the book, and in Season 2, the Clifton Strengths role-based reports. That was a fun season. If you haven't listened to those, go back. You can do that as well. Don't do it now. Stay on the podcast, but stay here with us. Jaclynn, this season, I didn't welcome you. Jaclynn, welcome to the podcast.
Well, hiya. It's okay.
There's
I'll
my
forgive you.
maximizer. Just keep talking. Maybe that's communication. Jaclynn, we're spending some time this season talking about bringing energy to work through your themes. Today, we're talking about Maximizer. Let's talk about the individual first. What ways can an individual with Maximizer feel more energized by focusing on their basic needs?
Ooh, by knowing what the expectations are, and even more specifically, how do we measure them? If you've got this theme, what does excellence look like? When performance is unclear, connect with your manager or a colleague that you might be partnering on that project with, just to gain clarity so that you do know what does quality and excellence look like. And then depending on your nature, you might prefer a template so that you can visualize excellence. Maybe it's a SMART goal that you require. Maybe it's performance metrics. So you've got a numbers-based system of seeing where you're at in relation to what excellence looks like. So it's a bit of a choose your own adventure, but first and foremost is making sure that you have clarity on, hey, what does quality work look like here? And then do I have the resources to carry that out as well?
I've admitted this. My Maximizer, because of the themes that are around it, looks more like quantity than it does quality. So I couldn't just run one marathon. I had to run 5, right? Type deal. I ran, I ran and I
More.
ran and I ran. It's always more. I can't, I'm always look at our download numbers for the podcast, and 4 million was great, but we're coming up on 5 million. And it has a quality
Jeez.
component to it in the sense that I want to make quality enough that I can get the quantity behind it on this. And so to satisfy my basic needs, you're dead on. I measure because I'm looking for that more, right? And more requires some of the quality. And so it's just for me that works out. That works out in that way, at least for my basic needs. What are some ways an individual with Maximizer can feel more energized by focusing on their individual strengths and development?
Well, you tend to sort pretty quickly if you have this high between the work you love to do and the work that drains you. So continue to pay attention to the type of work that you love so you can share it out with others in the workplace. Between your manager and the colleagues, more people can start to support and cultivate those talents you hold. And of course, you've got that information now that you can carry into your developmental conversation with your manager, whether it's quarterly or every 6 months. So that supports your career development in the long term.
We just came off the beginning of the year. Folks listening to this now, maybe mid-year if it's brand new. And by the way, focus on this part as well. We talk a lot about goals. How do you think goals, this idea of goal setting play into the Maximizer mindset, and especially when we think about individual strengths and development?
Oh, so I'm kind of thinking for a moment because it reminds me of the conversation that comes up a lot with this theme. It sounds a lot like competition because there's some goals there. It sounds a lot like achiever because there's goals there. And the goals, as I see it from that Maximizer perspective, is the goal of getting closer to excellence, or the goal of getting closer to what quality can be. For you, it was the goal of how do I achieve more in a way that's quality driven.
Right.
So I think that's the driver. You might have a particular developmental goal in mind, and then the mini goal inside that is, how do I get better at it? How do I get even better at it? How do I get even better at it?
Yeah.
So you're constantly trying to move forward. That's what sounds like competition, because you're almost in competition with yourself. to get to a level of excellence. And of course, we're always striving towards excellence.
Yeah, well, and
So
using
it
those
feels like
goals,
it's
right?
you're never going to get there because
Yeah.
you could always do better.
Yeah, you can. I think that's one of those things to be careful on, but not to lose that edge. Like that
Mm-hmm.
edge of driving and pushing and
Mm-hmm.
better and or more, because I think more and better can be the same thing, by the way. But that push, push, push. I think sometimes we back down in this area of development. I'm going to focus on. We back down too quickly. Maximizers are afraid they're going to push too hard or too far. This is too much. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to say sometimes don't lose the edge. It's important what you're doing. Keep pushing hard at it. You can go farther. You can do more. It can be better. And so I think that the goal setting process is important so you don't lose your way. You don't get
Mm-hmm.
discouraged by people saying, again? Yeah, again. Like do it again. Do it again. Right? And I
Refine
think
it,
yeah, I think
cultivate it. Yeah, do it
yeah.
again.
It's hard. Yes, it's hard work. That's what it I think people sometimes get a little they just get afraid. And it's like, don't be afraid. Keep pushing because what you're doing is important. And you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do something, you're gonna go farther, you're gonna do it better. It's gonna be a breakthrough. So don't lose that edge. Don't let people tell you back down. Just keep pushing hard. What are some ways an individual with this team can feel more energized by building partnerships and finding purpose in their role?
From a me perspective, working with others who are playing to their talents and thriving in their role would bring a lot of energy. That'd be a partnership or partnerships that you'd likely enjoy more. When everyone's working in this realm of ease, excellence, and enjoyment towards that collective goal, it's this is so rewarding. This is a great day. The way that you might transition that into a we with others is more of that influential way too, because you can influence and inspire people to drive towards refinement, to drive towards excellence by celebrating the strengths that they have, by bringing attention to the excellence that they've put forth in their responsibility. They might not see it for themselves, but you do, and it's inspiring, it's motivating, it's rewarding to be around someone that's going to focus on the strengths of an individual or a team versus the weaknesses. And that might be your level of influence as well, because people go, wow, I like working with this person because they see me and they see the talents I have. Or they drive us towards excellence, and we get more quality work out of it when we work with this individual.
Well, and building partnerships for me was always about driving people to do more with me. Let's
Hmm.
meet today. Let's
More.
go.
There's
Yeah,
more
let's
again.
meet. We could finish this. Let's go do this. It could be better. Let's, even with my own children, spending a lot of time with them, doing things with them. We could do more of this. We could be better at this. We could
Hmm.
refine that, right? And that has been Maximizer has been a partnership key for me in a lot of ways. So let's talk about the manager. How can a manager with Maximizer support others with their basic needs?
Oh, yeah. Well, helping the team understand what excellence looks like by providing performance metrics and really establishing the difference between good, better, and best work,
Mm.
so they know where they're at in relationship to where they need to be. And then involve the team where possible so they can work together to define quality in their respective team projects. Then just provide and encourage ongoing feedback through either recognition or constructive feedback so that people can, again, gauge the quality of their work. But now they're getting that outside perspective versus just gauging it on their own.
I think managers, the most powerful thing you can do is maximize recognition. Figure out better, smarter, more efficient, more effective ways to recognize people. That God is so powerful, Jaclyn. That ability
Mm-hmm.
to do it, keep doing it, keep doing it better, not resting until it's great, and then how could it be even better?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a powerful, especially in that area of recognition, that can be an engine that drives the performance. I think sometimes we think we've got to, you know, uh, um, drive this performance, performance, performance. I think if we can give that recognition side some work, that performance will come, and you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
push so hard on that side. and those pieces. How can a
Yeah.
manager with Maximizer help others feel seen, heard, and valued as an individual?
You I think really tease that out some too is when you recognize someone's talents in action, bring it to their attention.
Yeah.
Find out if this is the type of work that they love to do because they might do it really well, but they might not like doing it. So it really is about finding out, do you love this? And if so, let's find more opportunities to align your strengths to this type of responsibility or to this type of project in the workplace.
Mhm. Ooh, that, saying, ooh, that's a good idea. Let's
Ooh.
take that and, m- you know, bring it in. Let's take that and make it better. It may be
Mhm.
a component of what's happening right now in me doing the podcasting with you, of continuing to drive content that's valuable, getting this feedback from the community, but to keep
Yeah.
driving it, right? I never get tired of this. It's a ton of fun just to watch this happen and to see insights of people in chat, see a moment and go, oh, that's why. And so I'm hoping, we talk about helping others feel seen. I'm hoping there's a little bit of that going on right now, that people are
Mhm.
being seen. This chat room is a way to help people to be seen, right? And so that kind of fits,
Yeah.
maybe kind of, I don't know, anything else you want to add to that?
I love that. That's a really good way of that. And given we both have Maximizer, I could see that because we like being connected to the community. We love the live piece because there's that connection to
Yeah.
hear what you all are identifying with um, in what's being said or how you're building off of it, or even, you know, um, challenging it and taking it in a different direction. It's so great because it's all about refinement. How are we continuing to think about and refine the themes that we're discussing or whatever the topic is, but how are you feeling seen and recognized for the talents you bring to?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we both play off of that in this setting, right? Getting that constant feedback and then listening to it and say, okay,
Refining.
how can I tweak what I just said to say it again, even just a little bit better, but not make it seem like it's repetitive? How can I do
Mhm.
this over and over and over on things that have already been said, but we continue to say them, right? Getting that feedback, saying it again, making it better. It just
Yeah.
happens to be our mode just happens to be, the verbal, form of media. This could be done in writing or in anything, right? Anything
Mhm.
that's being done. What about a manager with Maximizer? How can they build trust, inspire, and deepen team collaboration and community, do you think?
Because you see the potential and the talents of others, if you lead with this theme, think about how you can continue to motivate and inspire your team through pep talks or quarterly reviews with them, and highlight the talents and successes that they've had, while also encouraging their limitless potential. And then you can open up the conversation after so that the team can start to share their own highlights and the impact that has been witnessed or observed by them from either working with internal employees or by connecting with external customers. So it might start with you, but then you can really create this level of expansion in the room where people can start to, celebrate one another for the potential and the successes they've had and get really excited about, ooh, what do we want to do next? Going back to that limitless potential.
Yeah. I hear a lot of recognition in what you just said, right? And
Yes,
that being a huge
you
key,
did.
I think, to this. So well done. Final question. How can a manager with Maximizer support the growth of each team member?
In your developmental conversations, share what you've observed the team member do exceptionally well and inquire about their interest in that line of work. If they don't want to do more of it, then maybe you can work together and find a new way that they can build on their talents. Or maybe they prefer to apply those talents that you've witnessed to a different area of the workplace, in which case, then you can help them consider the various opportunities that are available so they can leverage those talents. So, beyond just recognition in the moment, this is going to be that more formal opportunity to say, hey, this is what I've observed so far in you. What do you think? Do you want to do more of it? Do you want to apply it elsewhere? Do you want to, scratch the responsibilities where I've seen you do this really great, which is going to make me sad as a manager, but maybe you want to apply those talents elsewhere? Let's talk.
When I first started at Gallup, I started as an IT manager. I managed resources, some really smart analytical folks, and it was I really enjoyed it. But I had a manager come to me and say, "Hey, would you like to go do some recruiting? Like we need some help." There's no question. Yes, get to go out and talk to college
Woo?
students and work. Yeah,
Yeah.
work on the folks. A maximizer. I mean, there was a maximizer moment, not for me, but for my manager, for the manager at the time, to say, "Hey, I could see some other areas that you can really provide help with." I never asked how I was going to get it done,
Mm-hmm.
or they never asked me how I was going to get it done. They said, "Can you go do this?" And it was a great maximizer. It's one of those examples in my career where I go, "That's a really smart. That's a really smart question to ask me, and
Mm-hmm.
focus me in a direction that led to this." And so wouldn't have. I may not have gotten here if that step hadn't been taken, and a manager saw that and said, "Hey, how can we maximize this talent even more than we're doing it right now in a radically different way?" Managing IT
Mm-hmm.
resources and then recruiting, kind of different in that. But that's for me, that's a good example. Jaclynn, final thoughts
Yes.
on Maximizer?
Ooh, well, there's one quote that I love. I don't know who says the quote because it changes by the day, I feel. But if you've got Maximizer, you might connect with this. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. How do you do that for yourself? How do you lend it to other people? How do you help them be at their best and never let it rest? Which can be very inspiring for them that you're seeing through their lens. You're seeing the talents that they bring to the table.
Jane used to say that all the time. That just reminded me
Did
of
you
that.
really?
Yeah, she used to. It was great. It was great. Very
Awesome.
motivational
It's my
and
favorite.
a great maximizer statement. We'll
It
remind
really
everyone
is.
to take advantage of all the resources we have available for you in Gallup Access. Head out to my.gallup.com, sign in. If you haven't checked out, we have a brand new top 5 report that is out there. Maybe you haven't seen that yet. Get out there today. It's available for everyone. So check it out. You can just go there. It's already in your strengths dashboard. Some new resources, including some theme dynamics. Maybe you could maximize your talents by working yourself the way through those theme dynamics, and check it out today. For coaching, master coaching, or become a Gallup certified strengths coach, you can send us an email, coaching@gallup.com. We'll get you more information. Whether you want to be an independent or embedded coach, we do both of those. So contact us for that. If you want to join us for the 2024 Gallup at Work Summit, whether in person or virtual, I mean, Jaclynn and I are going to host the virtual part together. But you could, that even though we're doing virtual, you could also come and be a part of it in person. We'd love to see you in Omaha. We'll be hanging out in between sessions, and we'd love to see you there. You can register right now. Details are at gallupatwork.com. Stay up to date with all the future webcasts by following us on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find anything we do just by searching CliftonStrengths. Like, subscribe, do all those things that you're supposed to do out there on the interwebs. And we want to thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed it, share it. And if you're listening live, stay around for a little bit of post show. With that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.